Oh, my bad. Windows 9 is expected to release in oh, I already told you that. I'm sorry. April of 2015. I told you that. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's when it will be released and you can buy it, subscribe to it, whatever. If you're like me and you like to just buy um, stuff and know that it's yours, go out and get a flavor of Windows 7. Go out and get Windows 8. If you're a gamer, 7's still your best option. Why? Because in 8.1, they, I don't know exactly what they did, but there's a support option that some of the games that you might get off of, say, Steam, will not render correctly or work correctly at all. Um, so I like I said, I'd go with Windows 7 with the advent of SSD, and if you know how to make how to slim down the startup of Windows 7, it actually isn't that bad. And if you don't, just contact us if you're in the area. Or even if not, we might be able to do something for you remotely. You can visit us at IllinoisTechnicalSolutions.com. And yes, I'm actually plugging my other company, but it's alright. Um, in this case, it's not a shameless plug. Um, so yeah, that's all I really got for you on operating systems. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. They just talk. I don't know. Like I said, with them wanting to try and do a, even thinking of doing a subscription based type thing. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to tell you. Microsoft is laying off, or in talks of laying off 18,000 of their employees and shutting down Microsoft Studios. So the same people that brought you Halo, um, Microsoft, um, will not be making games anymore, which is kind of weird. But you know, they say that it's more to go after a more more business than than games and things like that. They said that they're going to continue with the Xbox. I wasn't quite sure if that meant that they are going to bring out another Xbox, or if that just means that they're going to continue supporting Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and then once end of life occurs, you're on your own. I don't know. Microsoft is kind of, ever since Gates left, I even though he's like been brought back on board to be an advisor, I don't know if the man's been kind of drinking a little bit or what, but I don't understand this what their goal really is. I know that I read an article a while back talking about that they want to get more into businesses than in the home, which I'm fine with them being in the home. I just wish that something would work right. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Windows Server 12, it's a good operating system. All almost, yeah. I can honestly say all of the Windows Server family works fine. Works wonderfully fine. But their clients have all these issues. And it's like, now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Windows Server is the client with management tools, increased security options, and things such as that. You know, I I don't know. It I mean, just like take for instance, shoot, I keep going back to it, Linux, right? I can I can throw Apache server on that, you know, and everything. And I can even have a mail server going off a Linux machine, use it as a desktop if I wanted, you know, and it would be happy. I mean, I could run a GUI on it, and yeah, it might kind of balk, but you know, it'd be alright. Versus, you know, what I'm running right now, which is Linux with no GUI. You know, I'm fine with the command terminal. And besides, it scares the hell out of people who want to try and do things to your server when they see it, because they're like, oh, a server or a computer in a rack. Huh. I wonder if this gets the internet, and next thing you know, you have all this garbage on your machine. And, yeah, with no GUI, they can't do anything unless they know terminal, yeah, how to use the terminal, or command line, or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, that's kind of my crime deterrent. Besides, if you're going to use Linux as a server, use it all as a server. Anyway, that's kind of my rant, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to see Linux. Like, I know that different companies have been trying to put Ubuntu on their desktop, or yeah, on their desktops. I know they got Android desktops and things like that, you know, now, which is actually kind of cool. And it's own right, really, because I mean, Android's cross-platform. You're right, one application, it kind of fits all, you know. What else here? Technology. Let me see. Here it is. So, who here watching is a Star Wars fan? Who has ever wanted to try and control the Force? Okay. So apparently this company has developed a thing that allows you to do just that within a game environment. This thing actually goes about right here, and it cups around, you know, so you'd put it on and go about right here. Apparently it reads the impulses, you know, from you doing this and this and, you know, stuff like that, and it reads those impulses as, or those gestures that it reads right in here. It, you know, it doesn't really look at this, it looks at this all right in here. And according to this, the way that your muscles move, or the way that your yeah, I think it's how your muscles move, depends on how you use the force or whatever in the game. So this device, what they're doing with it, it's more than just like a force game. It's actually you're able to control whatever it is hooked up to. So say you have it connected to your uh, say you like shoot okay, but we're all nerds here. Let's go for it. Say you have a remote control robot. You're able to connect this thing to other things via Bluetooth. You technically could connect this thing to your robot and use hand gestures to control the actual machine. Versus in the past, you had to do this. Well, now all you have to do is this, and the thing understands the movements of your forearm muscle. And it takes that, converts that into usable data that the device, or whatever you have hooked up, understands, and it will respond in kind. The video I watched showed even that the one guy had it hooked up to a quadcopter, and he was able to control the pitch and the yaw and the angle and the elevation and all that, just by hand gestures. Um, uh, you could even control your MP3 player, uh, by this thing, instead of me typing a button or whatever. That's no more. It's think of it kind of like the Kinect. The Kinect, you could go like this, on it, and that actually would shuffle you whichever way you wanted. If you were in on all the way over on the left on your dashboard, you could go like this, it would shuffle to the right. You can go like this and shuffle back to the left. Well, they took that. It's all hand gestures. You don't even have to say Xbox do this, Xbox do that. Or whatever device it is. At this point, you could just wave your finger, and be like Q, and there you are. Yes, I used a Star Trek reference. Deal with it. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting, but I thought it would be it was interesting how they put it, like controlling the force, because that's what it would be. You're controlling technology just with a gesture. And what did the Jedi Knights do? They would hold out their hand and blah, 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 and I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool imagery. They even showed this thing hooked up to, hooked up to a gaming console and guy gaming, and he was actually able to do that, and when he put his arm down, the gun went down on his character, and I was like, now that would be kind of cool, just to be able to do that. The sad part is I actually thought of something like this a long time ago, but I never had the money to actually build such a thing. Should have sold that idea, apparently. Well, live and learn, right? What else have we got? That's almost all for technology, I think. La da 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 da. Oh, um, so let me quickly organize this real quick. Um, well, bear with me. I had this organized and then my browser decided to crash. Oh, yeah. It's so much fun. Um, no, not that one. No, not that one. There's actually a reason I'm doing this other than to waste time. No, I'm so kidding. I'm not. I may even cut this probably. Um, so anyway, um, let's talk about sex. Okay. Um, Reasons that they've came up with to have sex daily, which I've read and I agree with. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, sex is good, right? Right. Alright. Sex helps you to de stress. You know, get or to relieve stress. And I mean, number one, you're being physical. Number two, your your body's producing dopamine, which relaxes you. Um, like I said, great forms of exercise. 15 minutes of sex can actually burn 7,500 calories. So, yay! Um, and for anyone out there, that's the equivalent of jogging 75 miles. So yeah, lowers blood pressure. Well, you're doing um, a lot of a lot of activity. um, Builds your immunity. I guess that your body actually, um, along with dopamines, it puts out the more of the chemical that actually produces antibodies, so that um, you can fight allergens and flu and things like that. And here's something I like: sex makes you look younger. Um, I will. What is it? Making love. Uh, 3 times a week can make you look 10 years younger. Um, and this came from a Scottish researcher. Um, the it came that segment came from where was it? Dave's Week. Huh. And anyway, I don't know what research they're talking about. The article I'm looking at doesn't really give, but I'm sure if you look this up, it's this actually came from themindunleashed.org. Um, so if you subscribe to that, healthy heart, cardio. I mean, seriously, anybody who's ever had sex has figured that out. Pain relief, dopamine releases in the brain. Uh, not, and that's how you de-stress, but it also is something that, you know, helps with pain too. So when you get hurt, go have sex. When your wife or your lover goes, I have a headache, go, I can fix that. And it will work. It will. Let me see. This is kind of a no-brainer. Builds trust and intimacy. Um, I mean, for obvious reasons, you're two people doing a very, very intimate thing, and your trust is building every time you do it. Um, but they even say that, that if you're not having, that if you're having problems in your relationship, like I'm not talking about, oh, I just met you like a week ago, oh, let's have sex. I'm talking about, you're like a year or 6 months or something like that. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. So 6 months to a year into your relationship, and you're not having sex. um you know, you may have problems in your relationship with trusting that person or having intimacy. Yes, I am self-proclaimed Christian, but at the same time, I also see the value of this in place of marriage, but I'm just speaking in general because I know that not everybody shares my views, and I'm not here to change your views. I'm here to just present facts and ideas and things like that. And like I've said before, we can just learn from one another. And yeah. So, like I said, if you're having relational issues, look at your sex life, and that's it sounds like a cliche, but it's not. Um, I got out of a. I'm going to get a little personal, um, and maybe this might help somebody out there. But since I'm here, I'm going to. Um, I got out of a 3.5 year relationship. I was engaged to the woman, and she had basically gotten to the point where she didn't trust me or want intimacy with me. And it wasn't that I'd done anything wrong. In fact, as my friends have told me numerous times, that I'm loyal to a fault. And she just didn't want that, and she eventually left me for another man. But but I say this because this may help somebody out there. Um, on the topic of sex, I'm not saying that sex is the go-to answer, but sex can help. Um, uh, Another interesting thing is it lessens your chances for cancer. For males, it talks about regular ejaculation helps with reducing your chances of prostate cancer. Um, Also, stronger pelvic muscles, which, I mean, that to me is kind of a duh. I mean, I don't mean to just say that, but I mean, it really seems to me as a no-brainer, but whatever. Um, Induces, or no, my bad, skipped one. Prostate protection Um, it am I reading that right? Oh, uh, it basically regular ejaculation in men helps to wash out fluid or fluid buildup and other fluids that may just be in there for whatever reason. So it basically helps clean the pipes, as it were. Um, Induces sleep. Um, there again, dopamine. Large amounts of it will induce euphoria. Um, for women, regular periods. Um, if you have irregular periods, apparently sex helps. I will say this, that if you are underage and you're watching this, I'm not saying that you should go out and do this. I'm talking to the age group of 18 on up. Okay? Um, but yeah, it helps to do, helps for regular periods for women. Prevents ED. So, you have a situation of you use it or you lose it. Literally. You live longer. Like I said, cardio. You're exercising a lot. Your body is ramping up its metabolic rate a lot. You're doing a lot of things to increase your heart health, your oxygen. Yeah, I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry, guys. You get more oxygen into your blood, and so it goes throughout your body, regenerates a lot of your cells. So yeah, just the fact that you're active, and guess what? You're having fun doing it. I mean, come on, sex is not a chore. Um, and yes, I do speak from experience. Sex is not a chore. You treat it that way, shame on you. Um, Healthier semen. They're again cleaning out the pipes. Um, it's like think of water that just sits and it stagnates. It's not fit for drinking. It's not fit really for much use except for maybe watering flowers. Or watering plants and flowers. Like I'm thinking of a garden when I say plants. Sorry. But anyway, it gets rid of when you ejaculate often. Sorry, when you ejaculate often, it increases the volume of new sperm production. Because believe it or not, sperm does have a shelf life. So yeah, that's that. Moving on, while we're talking about biology. By the way, sex is probably one of the more fun topics, but there again, among most nerds, it is. So anyway, cesarean baby make has different DNA than the mother. Sorry, I read and then I started talking. Jeez. Anyway, turns out the baby that was delivered by via cesarean had a different DNA than its mother. And they literally They literally had to have people do stuff to actually test. And there were witnesses while this woman gave birth to this child. Um, because they said there's no way this could be, no way at all. But somehow, this baby has completely different DNA than its mother. The weird way the only thing they can figure out that happened is that she had a twin when she was in the womb. The twin died. Her body absorbed the twin, and apparently the twin's uterus became her uterus, and her dead sister's twin sister's egg, or not twin, I'm sorry, dead sister's eggs became her eggs because her body absorbed it. I guess it would be twin, doesn't have to be genetically the same, right? Right. So anyway, that's how they figured that out, and that is probably about the weirdest thing I have seen in a very long time. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's something out of a science fiction movie, you know, where it's like, that baby's not yours, it has different DNA. Funny, I remember being there for, you know, and carrying it and conceiving it, you know, that the small things, you know. Alright, a little space news after talking biology. Did you know that NASA's actually thinking that Saturn's moon Titan has super salty oceans? Yeah, that's right, super salty. They say so salty that it's comparable to the Dead Sea over in Israel or the Jordan. That's pretty salty. I mean, the Dead Sea, there ain't no fishes in that. You know, they're still hoping that there is life. I mean, if you have fish that develop, or life that develop with that type of environment, you know, obviously there would be some sort of adaptation for it. That's the way I would see it. I don't believe in microevolution. I believe in I don't believe in macroevolution. I believe in microevolution. So saying that I don't believe that other things that don't even remotely look like me came and turned into something else or whatever. You know, I believe microevolution. So you see it all the time, as in a mutt. You know, you see that in different breeds of horses. You see that in different breeds of humans. You know, DNA matches and it works. Never have I seen, you know, a dog human hybrid. You know, never have I seen a dog horse hybrid, or a dog rabbit hybrid, or or a cat rabbit hybrid, or you know, something like that. I've seen cats that like dogs, but they're not. That's because they hang around dogs. I've seen dogs that like cats because they hang around with cats. You know, so they don't know they're a dog. But that's totally different. That's this. That's this. Well, I'm talking about the DNA structure. So so I would say whatever life has come about on Titan, if there is any life on Titan, that like I said, I would assume they've adapted some some way of actually being able to survive in this environment. I know, interesting stuff, right? Um. Oh, I missed one. I'm sorry. Uh, go back for a second to um biology here. Um, they have figured out how to regrow uh corneas using adult stem cells. This is for right now is for people who have diseases or accidents where it causes them to lose their vision, but there's no. I mean, if they can do that with that, then there's no real reason why they can't pursue, all the other stuff where you can regrow. Excuse me, where you can regrow everything. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Radio signals from Jupiter could aid in search for alien life. Well, here's a problem I see with it right there. They say radio signals from Jupiter. Number one, I go isolate the radio signals and see if there's actually a pattern. You put the formulas to work and figure out whether it's an actual language that's being spoke. That's me logic. But somehow they think they could use these radio signals to search Jupiter's 67 moons for life. Right. Because, we're not. They're so smart at NASA. I'm telling you. I mean, using radio signals, really strong radio signals from another planet to search for other life. Wow. They should be trying to send radio signals back. I know. I talk and nobody listens, right? Let's see what else have we got here. Oh, do. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but like I said, have this organized and my browser crashed. It hates me today. Okay. Apparently let's go down here. Yes. Apparently, they've, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, funded a way, either funded or yeah, I assume funded a project in order to do away with the pill, as it were. Instead of taking a daily pill, you take a chip that you wear subdermally for 16 years, and you use this thing by remote. So, if you want to have kids, just kind of like TV remote, I guess, click and turn it off. Don't want to have kids, click, and apparently this thing has enough whatever it needs in it to keep women from not having children. Yeah, that's not different. I mean, considering that they used to have the ring and, well, still do have the ring and stuff like that for the cervix and things like that. Um. Oh yeah. And they're figuring out finally something I've been saying for a while, is that DNA from GMOs, genetically modified organisms, can be directly passed to humans. Um, so what does this mean? Well, Monsanto. Um, yes, I'm naming names here. Uh, is one of the big ones. They genetically modified the one I can think of as corn, and some of it does is allow you to be able to grow wherever in the world you are. Okay, that's actually a cool advancement. But what traits did you have to move around or put in that, could possibly hurt me? They did no actual research on this. Like, it was an in-house research. And it was only a month or two or something like that. It wasn't very long of a trial. Um, but what they're finding is that, like, the corn and things like that can be, I mean, it's food, right? So, like, back to, like, Monsanto's corn, right? They take the corn seed and they put a thing in, they tweak the DNA just a little bit to where they are able to actually make their corn be uneatable by bugs. So when bugs try to eat it, they die. It's poisonous to them. Okay, here's the problem. We ingest that, or cattle ingests that, or chickens ingest that, or pigs ingest that, and we ingest the livestock or corn directly, which in turn goes directly into our DNA, which is, you know, could be attributed to a lot of things such as leaky gut. Obesity is obviously a big one, because your body's not able to process it correctly. Um, but like, what was it? They took a they were taking blood samples from these people. They took over 1,000 people, and they were, trying to do this experiment to see how it actually affected people. GMOs, that is, and they could see um, in the blood samples, the um, plant DNA is higher than the human DNA. So that means our bodies are not breaking down the DNA completely to be used. The plant DNA is trying to assert itself into our bodies. that ain't gonna work out so well. I'm sorry, I don't feel like being, plant man. According to evolutionary theory, the next stage in our macro evolution is, according to them, could possibly be a fern tree. So I guess this is how we turn into fern trees. Why not? Um, also, and also it changes the composition of our beneficial bacteria. Because we have good and we have bad bacteria within our bodies. And apparently, this stuff changes the composition to make it not good for us. Which, is like, I don't know. We we as a people have so many issues over here in America with food, and I don't know. I, I've read, where they are making it illegal to people like you and me to have backyard farms. So if I wanted to grow or raise my own cattle and chickens and whatever, I couldn't. It'd be illegal. Um, and sometimes, or in some places, from what I've read, they actually say that having a garden can be illegal, which I strongly disagree with. So, do your homework um, and get away from GMOs. It it really is going to be a downfall for many people. I'm ingesting it, you're ingesting it. We're going to have kids, or some of you already do have kids. Well, you pass that down to your kids. So, the genetic anomalies keep getting worse and worse as time goes on. You know, um, so consider that. Um, like right now, I went out and I bought protein to help me build muscle because I've been off work for 7 months. My regular job anyway. Um, and for because I had surgery. Well, I bought protein to help me rebuild muscle more quickly. Um, but I actually went through and I made sure there were no GMOs in it because one thing my ex-fiance did was make me aware of the stuff that's going into my body. Um, so that's something good that I think we all should come away with. Also, while I'm talking about that, fluoride in the water. You, yeah, I know I'm getting more into the biology stuff, but you know what? That's fine. That's why we're here, right? Science and technology and all that good stuff. But fluoride in the water is hazardous for your body, especially for your brain. It kills a lot of your synapses and things such as that. Um, I recommend heavily that you start trying to filter out um, that because, like I said, you only get one of these. I'm sorry, you do. Until they figure out how to back your brain up onto a hard drive or crystal or whatever we're gonna have, when that technology comes about. Um, collecting rainwater is another thing. You can purify it with charcoal. You can purify it even with a piece of wood, and just let the water trickle through or technically through a piece of branch. I wouldn't recommend that because you don't really know what organisms are in that branch. Charcoal filters are obviously your best bet. Easier to assure that your water is being decontaminated correctly. As far as acid water goes, I mean, there's ways of neutralizing it. It's online. I would say just Google it, check it out. Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough of my rant there. I know I rant a lot, don't I? One thing that I do want to talk about before I wrap things up here is the obvious, or what seems to me and a lot of IT people, and even not so IT people, but just people on the internet who kind of pay attention to what's going on, with government and things like that. It seems that the government or governments have concocted some sort of a plan, or trying to figure out a way to kill the internet. And what do I mean by kill the internet? I mean, like, take for instance net neutrality. That case should not have even have gone through between Netflix and Verizon. But I understand what they were getting at, which was infrastructure and things like that versus data usage and pipelines. But now with net neutrality gone, what this allows companies to do is it allows them, or yeah, is um, to split the internet up into two tiers. One tier is what you and I get, and other small businesses, and the other is what big corporations get, which is a dedicated line where they don't even have to pay attention to how much data they're using. It's a great big pipe. They can shoot 100 gig, probably not 100 gig, but I would say probably a good gig or 2 gig a second connection. And that to me, I say I should be able to get that just as much as the other guy. That's all done with now, sadly enough. And then you have intelligence agencies that are trying to manipulate information on the internet, and trying to give disinformation. You have you and also you have them doing invasion of privacy. I mean, technically, wireless microphone, wireless camera, wave to the camera, I was watching a thing with Edward Snowden. This was the more recent interview that he had done with The Guardian, and he was talking about, you know, that no, I don't know, he was just talking about same stuff I've heard before, same stuff I'm sure you've heard before. If you don't know who Edward Snowden is, Google. Um, um, and what else have we? Oh yeah, government trying to pay to sway public opinion. You know, and they're literally paying people to look the other direction of what they're doing. I'm actually impressed with one company. I can't remember its name offhand. I think Eli the computer guy talked about this one time. But it's a company that they do what Dropbox does and Google Drive does, except that they do not have access to your data at all. It's all encrypted. You have the encryption key. They do not have the encryption key. They don't have access to the encryption key, which is, in my opinion, amazingly good. This company started up because of Edward Snowden. You know, they said, hey, these guys have to go get a warrant to come to us. Then they go, oh crap, we got a warrant, only to find out that, you know, the data is encrypted. So if we want their data readable at all, then we have to go back, get another warrant. Well, technically it's one warrant, really, you know, because they would go to the company and the company would be like, well, you know, you can try, but it's not going to work. Go back, I need a warrant for so-and-so to get their encryption key. And, you know, at that point, the judge is either going to say yes, and there's going to be a big old nice court battle, and then it's on like Donkey Kong. So, you know, oh yeah, mainstream media is starting to kill off their comment sections, which I disagree with. I disagree with that a lot, because people, the people should be able to voice their opinions. First Amendment, you know, they should be able, even though I know the First Amendment actually refers to how the government can conduct things, not how a business can conduct. But here's my thing: is they exercise their First Amendment right. Mainstream media does, and they stifle yours by shutting off the comment section. Think about that for a minute. Kind of scary, huh? False flag cyber attacks. You hear about a lot of these. They're, you know, then they turn out to be a hoax, but it gets put out by government. You know, and it's like, now wait a minute. What else here? Homeland Security puts kill switch on the internet. Oh, great. You know, so it's like, you don't like what I'm saying or doing or whatever, you just flip a switch, you know, and shut me down. You know, or shut off the entire infrastructure and just keep the government going. You know, and I'm not going to get into a rant over how they conduct the government. This is not the forum for it, I believe. I get into it sometimes on the Repcast because I believe so strongly in our American ideals, our Constitution, and that it's important more than ever now to hold on to our federalism. Um, but there again, that's me. Sadly enough, not a lot of people seem to either care or voice that or share that ideal anymore. Uh, New taxes and restrictions set to stifle communication sales. Basically, goes back to net neutrality. Um, since since Netflix basically lost this case a while back, now it means that they can be charged to they can be charged a certain amount to use whoever's pipe. When I say pipe, I mean their connection, infrastructure, whatever, to send their data. Right now, the ISPs are wanting to say, hey, if you want to really use and abuse our stuff, then you have to pay us extra to be able or for us to be able to afford infrastructure, upgrades and repairs. And, like Netflix came back and said, we'll give you we will give you a proxy server. And they didn't like that too much. I mean, they fired back going, well, who would support it? That to me seems like a duh answer. If they give you the proxy server, then they got an IT team that should take care of that proxy server. Whatever. Yeah. But, internet backdoors, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my thought. So anyway, the cost will be kind of a trickle down effect. Because if, say, Verizon or Comcast is going to require Netflix or Hulu or, YouTube to pay extra to be able to use their infrastructure, which I think is wrong to a point. I mean, you're an ISP. It's your business and in your best interest to keep up to date, to keep your stuff running the way you should. Anyway, but since now it seems that they're going to potentially try to get money out of these companies like Netflix, then the users, you and me, are going to pay for that. Because I mean, I'm in business too. I really am. The cost would come to my customers. Now it wouldn't be a lot, but a little bit of a lot of a pie makes up a lot. If you follow what I'm saying. If not, it's okay. FBI backdoors, I already talked about that, and I lumped that in with the NSA and stuff like that. So, I don't know, this article I'm reading labels it as in-game. Basically, a way to kill off the internet as we know it, migrate it into a universal internet ID system. I guess the White House introduced this idea, which I am totally against. I mean, if we have internet already, we run ITCP IP over that internet infrastructure. You know, we have other protocols that run over that infrastructure. You know, and I'm not even talking about Onion. I'm talking about all the other ones. Like telephony. Even though I don't know who uses it, I know you can run it. IPX if you wanted. Um, I don't know anybody who uses IPX anymore, but you could if you wanted. Um, just to have different stuff. I know that the Onion sites were, basically labeled the underground internet, and whatever, because of the Silk Road. But, and I agree, Silk Road, not a good thing. If you don't know what that is, basically eBay, the black market's version of eBay. Um, I never seen it. I looked for it before, but I didn't feel like the NSA or FBI or whatever, going, well, why were you looking for the Silk Road? Because I keep hearing about the damn thing and I'm curious about it, you morons. No, I wanted to get I don't know, ion cannon. I don't know what the hell they sell on there. And Silk Road don't even exist anymore. The apparently the NSA finally got tired of it because the Onion was originally developed for Navy applications, their own intranet that they could use, and the Navy never used it, and the public got a hold of it, turned it into what it turned it into. So anyway, um, so yeah, I guess this ID plan or idea is basically to basically to see who is using the internet, and determine whether you have privileges or not and stuff like that. And yeah, I I really disagree with this, guys. I don't like freedoms being trampled on. I don't care what country you're from. I don't like seeing it done to people. Um, my ex fiance can attest to it. Um, I she got pressured a lot from different people to do different things, and I told her one time, I say, I respect your decision. You make a decision, I respect it. If you're being bullied into it, I'm not going to respect it. This right here, all that they're doing, sounds like bullying me and you and everybody else on the internet to do something they don't want to do. Um, anyway, that is my rant for that. I tried not to go long-winded. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail. Thank you again for watching this week's episode of the Blue Screen Talk Show. And I will, well, I won't see you, but you'll see me, alright? Have a good day, evening, night, morning,